Well, hello again, mi amigos and mi amigas. We are live again on site at the zoo. We're out in the field. And today, well, firstly, take in the nature. Folks, what the fuck is going on in New York Congressional District 3? Have you heard the news? Newly elected Representative George Santos. He initially said he embellished his resume. But an embellishment is saying that you work somewhere for 2 years and you really only worked there for 4 months. An embellishment is saying that you graduated from a college, but you really graduated from another university. Those are embellishments. The zoo agrees with me. So what Representative-elect George Santos did is not an embellishment. It's complete and utter fraud and lies. And he should have to resign, effective immediately. Look, let's run this down a little bit, just so you're up to speed and you know what I'm referring to. Newly elected Republican Representative George Santos from New York 3. Well, this began with the New York Times running an expose saying that some of his qualifications in his bibliography didn't match what was on record. It started with his employment history. He said he worked for Goldman Sachs and Citibank. They checked in with Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, and they couldn't find George Santos anywhere. Then it went to the college, Baruch College. The university and college checked the records. No George Santos. And then it went even deeper. He lied about his heritage. He said his grandmother fled the Nazis in Germany in the 1930s. Now this is just appalling, that you try to suggest that you're a Holocaust surviving descendant, knowing you're lying. So he's not Jewish, and he doesn't have a grandmother who fled the Nazis in the 1930s. He lied. Straight up lied. And then there's more. He said that he's a proud, openly gay man. But he's been married to a woman for 7 years. And thus far, no ex-male partner has come forward and said they ever dated George Santos. So he lied about being gay, like he lied about being Jewish. And then there's the charity. We're in the zoo, so I'm going to let the animals judge. He said he was going to start a sanctuary charity for animals. And he held a fundraiser and raised money. And the charity owner The lady who runs the charity said she never received a penny from George Santos. And then there's more. It looks like he might be an ex-felon on the run from his native country of Brazil. Apparently, when he was in Brazil, he robbed an elderly man of his checkbooks. And then he went on a shopping spree and spent thousands of dollars of this elderly man's hard-earned money. Brazil is currently looking for him. Well, they don't have to look too hard. He's in the House of Representatives. Hopefully not for long, because he hasn't been officially sworn in yet. They've had orientation. But that seat must be vacated. He must resign or face prosecution, either in the U.S. for defrauding American citizens or in Brazil for defrauding Brazilian citizens. Or maybe he should face justice in both America and Brazil for being a fraudster, a criminal, and a liar. George Santos, Representative-elect, you're a disgrace. A complete and utter disgrace. And you don't deserve to be anywhere near the United States House of Representatives. Resign immediately. And you know, the real difficult part to swallow in all of this is the House Republicans knew that George Santos was a complete liar, a fraudster, and a criminal. And they made jokes about it behind his back. And now he says he can represent the people of New York 3. They voted for somebody that they don't even know who it is that ran and won the election. Nothing he said has ever been true. So how can you say the folks in New York 3 voted for you? They voted for what you told them was you, which now has been revealed to be completely not true. Not you at all. It's kind of like if you created like an avatar in The Sims, the video game, and that avatar ran for a real life campaign, office, political job, and they won. And then you had to say, that's just an avatar. It's not really me. It's also irony is not lost on me. Conservatives, and I always say this, you can't say conservative without saying the word con, C-O-N. Conservatives always lament that identity politics is destroying American idealism, the republic, identity politics. And yet George Santos ran completely on identity politics. New York 3, the district, he knows is heavily Jewish, so he says, I'm Jewish. I come from the descendants who escaped the Holocaust, knowing that was a lie. He says, I'm gay, knowing there's a lot of gay people in New York 3. He says, I have an animal shelter and sanctuary and charity. But the IRS said it doesn't exist. George Santos is identity politics gone amok, courtesy of the Republican Party. Everything was a lie, and they all knew. And they went along with it. If Representative George Santos is seated and Kevin McCarthy does not expel him or ask him to resign, I think the House Democrats should tie everything into George Santos, just like they did with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. But this time it doesn't have to be for anything outrageous that the Congress member has said thus far or done, because he's a liar. If Republicans say that you can trust him, they're going to fix the country. You can just say, how can you trust anybody that has George Santos in their caucus? You can't. And this is how desperate the Republicans are. If any Democrat had done this, Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, Tucker Carlson, it would be 24/7 coverage. Not only did they lie on their resume, everything they said about themselves is a lie. And yet Fox News has conveniently not covered Representative-elect George Santos' complete and utter apocalyptic, fraudster, criminal, lying, scumbag campaign and election. It's not even 24/3. They're not covering it 3 hours on Fox News. This is the biggest story in America right now. The New York fraudster, George Santos. I said start the hashtag Adios Santos. Adios Santos. You gotta go. He's a complete disgrace. And in a caucus where you already have members under investigation for plotting and planning an insurrection against their own nation, such as Representative Scott Perry, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Representative Paul Gazard, when you already have insurrectionists and the minority leader flaunting the fact that he doesn't have to do as the rest of us have to do and answer a congressional subpoena, when you have the minority leader under House ethics complaint, now accepting someone who's a total criminal, someone who committed elder abuse in Brazil and is currently wanted. Not only should the New York Attorney General get involved, the Department of Justice in America, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Ethics Committee, everyone should get involved with this and demand that George Santos, Representative-elect George Santos, resign immediately. Demand it. If he's allowed to be seated, then what has happened in this country is the greatest travesty in perhaps New York history. That would be a tragedy and miscarriage of justice to allow Representative George Santos be seated in the House of Representatives. He's a disgrace, a complete liar, fraudster, and criminal, an abuser, a wanted felon in Brazil. He defrauded American citizens of their hard-earned money by telling them to donate to his campaign because he was something that he wasn't. He has to go. Both Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and Majority and Speaker of the House currently Nancy Pelosi have to call on George Santos to resign. And he has to do it by the end of this week. Friday. George, you must go.